Somewhere in the midst of that tiny knot of people at the far end of the football field at Cal Lutheran College, Coach Tom Landry is spending another day at the office, giving his impressions following the Cowboys' first full-scale scrimmage of the 1972 training camp here at Thousand Oaks, California. The scrimmage was held on Saturday, and as was proven, it was a day for the offense. Rather late in the scrimmage, on a 1st and 10, quarterback Roger Staubach completed a jump pass to Claxton Welch. It was good for a gain of 13 yards before rookie linebacker Chuck Zapek made the tackle. 2 plays later, Staubach tried to pass, but he had to scramble, as he has done so often before. He got a great block from Claxton Welch and a gain of 9 yards. On a 3rd and 1 from the 32, Walt Garrison goes over the right side. He picked up 13 yards on the longest run of the afternoon. He also got a first down. 4 plays after that, on 3rd and 5 from the 12, Staubach passes to Gloucester Richardson. He made a fine catch at the 7 before rookie Robin Griffin made the tackle. On 2nd and goal from the 7, Craig Morton, now in at quarterback, rolled to his right and passed to his right to rookie Herbie Phillips for the first touchdown of the afternoon. 2 possessions later, on 3rd and 17, deep in their own field, Morton threw deep for Richardson. Gloucester beat Herb Adderley at midfield and made the catch there. He then sidestepped Cliff Harris and scooted in for 77 yards and a touchdown. Roger Staubach led the next touchdown drive. First, a pass intended for Ron Sellers. Interference was ruled on safety Charlie Waters. There was a gain of 16 yards and a first down. On the next play, Staubach dialed Sellers again. The newly acquired receiver from New England made a circus catch and picked up 22 yards before Cliff Harris finally stopped him. 4 plays later, on 1st and 10 at the 20, Walt Garrison went away from the flow of the play. He fooled everybody for a gain of 12 yards to the 8-yard line. Calvin Hill got the call on a reverse. He headed for the far coffin corner and nearly ended up in one, leaping into the stands in the lap of a lady after he had scored the touchdown. After what had been a so-so afternoon, rookie running back Bill Thomas, the Cowboys' #1 draft choice, finally found some daylight and got 11 yards through the left side before Cliff Harris made the tackle. On a 2nd down and 6 yards needed from the 48, Roger Staubach to Ron Sellers. A nice catch preceded a vicious tackle from Charlie Waters, but Sellers had gained the first down. 3 plays later, on 2nd and 22 from the 47, Staubach to Sellers, a familiar combination on this Saturday afternoon. He beat both Herb Adderley and Cornell Green and grabbed the ball for a 47-yard touchdown pass. On the next offensive possession, 3rd and 16 from the 24, Staubach to guess who? Ron Sellers. Harris and Waters finally stopped him, but not before he had picked up 18 yards. And ultimately, on 2nd and 10 from the 15, Staubach passed to a wide-open Gloucester Richardson for Rogers' 2nd touchdown pass of the day and Gloucester's 2nd touchdown reception of the day. It was a great day not only for Gloucester Richardson, also for the man with whom he is competing, Ron Sellers. And as you saw, Roger Staubach and Craig Morton both looked exceptional for this early in the year. But these were friendly, fun and games. On Friday night in Chicago, the Cowboys will get their first real test of the year against the College All-Stars. From Thousand Oaks, California, Verne Lundquist, Channel 8 Sports.
Well, if we could field Baltimore down here, or if we could field Pittsburgh or something of that type, or even Houston. Now, Houston is doing very well. That's what I call artistic excellence. Now, we're fielding, as you know, something less than that because most of our players are young. They will make mistakes, and the mistakes cost you ball games, particularly against Detroit and Baltimore. So that we're not seasoned Major League in that sense. We are Major League entry. We're playing kids who will someday be the stars of the game. I'm satisfied that many of these people that you now know as the stars will be getting World Series tickets from Hurrah and some of our kids that are playing up here.
The longer I stared, the more I could see she was trying to signal with her hand, and she was making the sign of a, finally dawned on me it was a pistol. At that point, we realized what was taking place and notified the authorities and secured the area from anyone else.
What did he want?
He wanted to talk to the warden.
What about?
He was extremely concerned about the Supreme Court decision to abolish the death penalty. And he had very strong convictions that by discussing this with wardens, he might alter this.
We have only to look at Watts, for example, New Jersey, Chicago, some of the cities in Ohio that have had problems that existed because they didn't try to have an answer for them before they developed into major problems. And we think that by spending a relatively small amount now, that we'll be able to save an enormous amount that might result from the destruction that could exist if we didn't have a program of this sort.
Did the committee find that there is that much stress in the minorities in Fort Worth?
There was a considerable period of stress last fall. In fact, it was only because of cool heads on the part both of the minority groups and the police department and other leaders that we didn't have a serious situation last fall.
Since the new economic policy was adopted on August 15, 1971, real take-home pay has gone up at an annual rate of almost 4% a year. The increase in the last 12 months alone was the biggest that it has been in a large number of years. So the average person can read this in the paper or that in the paper about what's going on. What he knows is, and what the family shopper knows is that there's more money now going farther than there has been for a long period of time.
I had remembered hearing earlier in the year, like about last winter, that what they really wanted to do to like catch the bondsman was to get somebody to allow themselves to be bailed out and to steal for them.
To steal for whom? The
bondsman.
Okay.
So they could, go in and catch him. And I thought, well, Danny's in on robbery, so he'd be perfect. So I went to an attorney and said, I know somebody that'd be willing to do that.
So you proposed that Danny set the bondsman up, is that what you're saying?
Well, I'd already heard it, that they'd already been talking, but I just gave them somebody they could use.
And so then what did they do?
I had to talk to some policemen and to some other people, and then they went and got Danny's probation hold lifted so he could be bailed out.
Kathy talked to a lawyer, and the lawyer said that they need somebody on the inside in order to set up a bondsman.
Yes.
And then they arranged for you to do that. The police came to you and said, okay, let's see if the bondsman tries to get you to steal. And they let you out of jail at that point.
Yeah.
Did the bondsman try to get you to steal?
No, he didn't.
Did you offer him any kind of stolen merchandise?
No, sir, not really. At first I said that I had a stash of guns, just...
Why did you say that?
Well, to kind of go along with what the police said.
Okay, now you were involved in a probation violation.
Yeah.
You should theoretically be in jail or in prison right now.
Yes.
I take it you're out on bond. Now, when the police see this television report, what's going to happen to you then?
I don't know.
Does that worry you a little bit?
Yes.
The policemen are seeking an increase in patrolmen's pay to bring it in line with the salaries of other ranks, as well as an across-the-board cost of living pay increase of 5%. Their case was aired to the council by Preston Parks of the Dallas Police Association. Parks talked about the inequities of the present pay system, in which preference seems to be given to the officers with college credits, and not to those who have learned by experience through their years on the force. As things now stand, according to Parks, there are training officers who are making less than the new recruits in their classes, although the instructors may have been on the force for a number of years. In asking the council for a pay increase, the Police Association has a powerful lever in that 3 officers have been killed and 2 others seriously injured in the line of duty during the past 8 months. But on the other hand, such a pay hike for policemen might have an adverse effect on the council's hopes for no increase in taxes in the upcoming city budget. Today, the council took no action on the Police Association request, but the matter is one of the issues it must settle in arriving at the new budget. Jack Hill, Channel 8 News on the Move. I believe.
In fact, after I appeared before the State Board of Insurance, I talked with the governor and reiterated my thinking that the only way we'll ever get insurance reforms, which are so badly needed, would be through a special session, because the entire spotlight would be placed on the legislature only on one subject, which would be insurance reforms. And we could get it done then, but never in a regular session, because it would be buried with all the other legislation.
How does the governor seem to feel about a special session?
Well, I think the governor's trying to make his mind up. I think he's considering it very seriously. And I think there's a good chance that a special session will be called.
So then literally you translate this as saying that we will operate our district next year in the same manner that we have the past 2 years, which does meet with HEW's approval, which should bring an end to this speculation as to whether the board is going to attempt to buck HEW's no.
Okay, there was some talk that busing was costing a lot of money. You may be able to save money if you didn't have to bus, if you just kept the neighborhood concept. Are you going to have a lot of problems next year with financing busing or just financing the school district?
Ma'am, busing is not a problem to the district. Since the county runs our buses, it makes no difference to us financially whether they run 10 buses or 100 buses.